Hey everyone, welcome back to Stars and Stripes with another exciting history lesson. Today we're diving into the captivating world of feminism in the United States. But first, subscribe and push the like button. First wave feminism. It all started with a groundbreaking event, the Seneca Falls Convention. Picture this, it's July 19th and 20th, 1848, and a group of trailblazing individuals gather at the West End Chapel in Seneca Falls, New York. Why? To kickstart the first ever women's rights convention. Now, what inspired this historic gathering? Well, it all traces back to the experiences of two incredible women, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott. Back in 1840, they attended the World Anti-Slavery Convention in London, where they faced discrimination simply because of their gender. Can you believe it? Fueled by their passion for change, Stanton, a young bride with a fire for anti-slavery activism, and Mott, a seasoned Quaker preacher with a penchant for reform, decided it was time to take action. They dreamed of a convention to address the plight of women in society. Fast forward to the Seneca Falls Convention itself, where around 300 people, including notable figures like Lucretia Mott and Frederick Douglass, gathered to make history. And make history they did. At the end of the convention, 68 brave women and 32 forward-thinking men signed the Declaration of Sentiments, a powerful document penned by none other than Elizabeth Cady Stanton and the McClintock family. After the groundbreaking Seneca Falls Convention in 1848, where the seeds of change were planted, some of the courageous participants wasted no time. Just 2 weeks later, on August 2nd, they organized the Rochester Women's Rights Convention in Rochester, New York. And guess what? That was just the beginning. The momentum kept building as more state and local conventions sprouted up in Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. Then came the big one, the first National Women's Rights Convention in Worcester, Massachusetts in 1850. Talk about making waves. But the journey wasn't without its challenges. The women's suffrage movement faced hurdles, especially during and after the Civil War. Many activists had cut their teeth in the abolitionist movement and now turned their focus to securing rights for women. In 1866, Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony joined forces to establish the American Equal Rights Association, a bold step toward suffrage for all, regardless of race or gender. Yet roadblocks emerged with the passage of the 14th Amendment in 1868, which explicitly defined the voting population as male. Tensions ran high, leading to a split in the movement in 1869 over disagreements about the 14th and soon-to-be-passed 15th Amendments. Stanton and Anthony spearheaded the more radical National Woman Suffrage Association, NWSA, in New York, while Lucy Stone, Henry Blackwell, and Julia Ward Howe led the more conservative American Woman Suffrage Association, AWSA, in Boston. The passage of the 15th Amendment in 1870, granting voting rights to black men, further divided opinions. NWSA refused to support it, advocating instead for universal suffrage through a proposed 16th Amendment. Post-World War II feminism. World War II marked a turning point for American women, as millions entered the workforce, swelling from 28% to 37% between 1940 and 1945. They took on roles in traditionally male-dominated fields, symbolized by the presence of women in industries like Boeing's Seattle factory, where approximately one-third of the workforce was comprised of women. Despite this progress, women of color faced discrimination, confined to low-wage domestic work. While celebrated in media like Rosie the Riveter, the portrayal of working women often excluded women of color and reinforced racial and gender stereotypes. Post-war, there was a push for women to return to domestic roles, but dissenting voices like Edith Stearns challenged this narrative. In her provocative essay, Women Are Household Slaves, Stern critiqued the institution of housewifery and laid early groundwork for second-wave feminism. Despite the return to traditional gender roles in the 1950s, seeds of change were sown. Women, emboldened by wartime experiences, began to question societal norms and demand greater autonomy. Figures like Edith Stern, along with countless other women, paved the way for future activism and progress. While the 1940s and 1950s didn't spark a full-fledged feminist revolution, they set the stage for future generations, leaving an enduring impact on women's rights in America. Second Wave Feminism. The Second Wave feminist movement surged in the 1960s and 1970s, fueled by the activism of influential figures like Betsy Friedan and Gloria Steinem. Friedan's seminal work, The Feminine Mystique, published in 1963, ignited a national conversation about the constraints of traditional gender roles and the stifling effect of domesticity on women's potential. Meanwhile, Steinem's expose on the mistreatment of women working as Playboy bunnies shed light on the pervasive sexism and exploitation in society. Legal victories during this era provided crucial momentum for the movement. The passage of landmark legislation, such as the Equal Pay Act of 1963 and Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, marked significant steps towards gender equality in the workplace. Additionally, the Supreme Court's decision in Griswold v. Connecticut in 1965, which legalized birth control for married couples, further advanced reproductive rights for women. However, the path to progress was not without obstacles. President Nixon's veto of the Comprehensive Child Development Bill in 1972 dealt a significant blow to efforts to establish a national daycare system, highlighting the ongoing challenges in achieving work-life balance and supporting working mothers. Internal divisions within the feminist movement also emerged, particularly concerning issues of class and race. While the movement aimed to address the concerns of all women, there were tensions over the prioritization of issues affecting middle-class white women versus those impacting women of color and low-income women. Despite these challenges, the Second Wave feminist movement left a lasting legacy that continues to shape contemporary feminist discourse and activism. Its efforts paved the way for subsequent waves of feminism, influencing ongoing struggles for gender equality and social justice in the United States and beyond. Third Wave Feminism. Third Wave feminism in the United States began in the early 1990s. Anita Hill's accusation against Clarence Thomas in 1991, highlighted by a tight Senate vote in favor of Thomas, prompted Rebecca Walker's seminal article in Ms. Magazine titled Becoming the Third Wave. Walker's declaration, "I'm not a post-feminism feminist, I'm the third wave," coined the teen third wave and solidified its identity. Moreover, in 1992, the Third Wave Direct Action Corporation was established by Rebecca Walker and Shannon Liss Riordan, aiming to empower young activists from diverse backgrounds. The organization aimed to fill a void in young women's leadership and engage them in social and political activism. While the Riot Girl movement emerged concurrently, seeking to empower women in expressing themselves artistically, it often aligned more closely with Second Wave feminism than with the evolving Third Wave. Third Wave feminists embarked on a mission to challenge, reclaim, and redefine societal norms surrounding gender, womanhood, beauty, and sexuality. This wave introduced new feminist icons such as Madonna, Queen Latifah, and Emma Watson, alongside fictional characters like Buffy and Mulan. Utilizing the power of the internet and modern technology, Third Wave feminists expanded their reach and engaged a broader audience, including male celebrities like Aziz Ansari and Leonardo DiCaprio. The internet facilitated the proliferation of e-zines, blogs, and other platforms, democratizing feminist discourse and enabling a diverse array of voices to be heard. In the realms of academia and cultural criticism, scholars like Susan McClary and Marcia Citron delved into the cultural reasons for the marginalization of women in music, exploring themes such as gender discourse, patriarchy in music analysis, and the reception of women's music. This intellectual pursuit further enriched the evolving landscape of feminist thought in the late 20th century. Fourth Wave Feminism. Fourth Wave feminism emerged around 2012, characterized by a renewed interest in feminism, largely driven by the pervasive use of social media platforms. According to feminist scholar Prudence Chamberlain, The core focus of its wave is centered on achieving justice for women and combating sexual harassment and violence against them. Chamberlain encapsulates the essence of fourth wave feminism as an incredulity towards the persistence of certain harmful attitudes. Technology plays a defining role in fourth wave feminism, as noted by Kira Cochrane, with platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Tumblr, and feminist blogs such as Feministing serving as vital tools for challenging misogyny and advocating for gender equality. This wave is also marked by a commitment to intersectionality and an expanded understanding of gender identity. Key issues addressed by fourth wave feminists include street and workplace harassment, campus sexual assault, and rape culture. High-profile scandals, such as the Bill Cosby sexual assault cases, the 2014 Isla Vista killings, and the 2017 Harvey Weinstein allegations, have served as rallying points for the movement, galvanizing action and sparking initiatives like the American Me Too movement and its global counterparts. In the United States, notable examples of fourth-wave feminist campaigns include initiatives like Mattress Performance, the Time's Up Now movement, and projects like 10 Hours of Walking in NYC as a Woman, which shed light on the pervasive experiences of harassment and discrimination faced by women in everyday life. Subscribe to Stars and Stripes for more insightful content and join us in the ongoing quest for truth in the digital age.